You're listening to Wrestling Goons Radio, the podcast from the IWC for the IWC. And I'm your host, Dan Tanner, and we have a lot to talk about in this episode of Night of Champions pre-show. We will discuss every match from Seth Rollins doing double duties to who we think will be Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns' partner to the Divas title match and much more. Before we get started, we want to thank all of our listeners, and if you're new or haven't subscribed yet, go to our page, WrestlingGoonsRadio.blogspot.com, and subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, as well as our social media. Now, to get into our show, I want to introduce you to the usual goons, Anthony Hammond, Brian Compton, and Mark Pitts. And we're going to start with the pre-show match. I know everyone's not too thrilled about this. This is a match between Neville's Lucha Dragons versus the Cosmic Wasteland that consists of the Ascension and Stardust. Basically, this is a background match between Neville's and Stardust, and everyone else is just thrown in just to make a match. I don't particularly care for this. Anthony, what do you think?
I want to like it because I'm behind Stardust and I'm behind Neville. But like you said, right now we're kind of stuck with where are the other guys here. It's a six-man match that they really don't have time for in the main card, so they're just putting another pre-show. I feel like Stardust needs a win here. I know Neville is new on the roster and he kind of has been relegated as far as the wins and losses go, but he's gotten a few over on Stardust. Now, if Stardust doesn't get a couple, that either the feud dies and goes away and Stardust goes back to being Cody Rhodes, which I obviously hope does not happen, but I'm really hoping Stardust gets the win here so that is not the case.
Brian, do you feel Stardust and the Ascension are now a thing, and how you feel about this feud between him and Neville's?
I don't particularly care too much about the feud between him and Neville, especially with the Lucha Dragons included into that. I feel like if they're trying to establish the Ascension and Stardust as this new stable, or at least a powerful one, they need to start branching out and finding someone else to feud with, not only for their sake, but for Neville's sake as well, so that he doesn't almost get pigeonholed as, a certain type of wrestler.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony, who do you think should win this match?
Like I said before, I hope Stardust gets the victory. He definitely needs it right now more than Neville, in my opinion.
And do you think he will win?
Yeah, I do. I think he definitely has to, so I'm going with him. I do think they're going to let him get the win. I don't really see what Neville has to gain coming out of it. Like, the Lucha Dragons are just there simply to make the numbers even, so to speak. So it just really doesn't make sense for them as a faction to meet the Cosmic Wasteland in their debut.
Personally, I think that the Cosmic Wasteland is a cool idea. The only thing I'm worried about is if they lose and then the next night Stardust does something to, I guess, attack them and make them become nothing like he did with Wade Barrett.
Okay, but where would it go from here? Let's say they stay together. Where does the Cosmic Wasteland to? Like, after Neville and the Lucha Dragons, what's next?
I mean, they could still be a thing because I heard somewhere that they're now trying to focus on having 3 team stables now. So they can do something, maybe have a feud with a New Day or not. That's just my opinion on that.
Mariah, what do you think?
That's something that I could probably get behind, a 3-team stable. That was something in the past that used to be pretty successful. In terms of who you would feud them with, I wouldn't necessarily say the New Day. I'm trying to think of somebody that would benefit from them actually feuding with them. And right now, as much as there's stables out there with 3 teams, there's just too much contrast right now. I don't think it would really work.
In my opinion, there's too many 3 teams. Like, not only do we have it in the women's thing, you got the Wyatts. They're doing whoever this Ambrose thing is coming up. You have this thing right now going on. You have the New Day. I mean, where are they going with this? Is there a trios title coming up in the future? Is that a possibility?
I'm a fan of the stable of 4, but not so much of it being a trio, like you said. It just seems like there needs to be an extra guy in there. But I guess it's a thing.
It seems like it, because I have a 3 just seems to be the common number everywhere.
So, what is your interest level as far as this match here, Anthony?
I'm going to give it right into 5, just like a Stardust. He sells it for me as it is. And it'll be a shame if he were to lose here and the character go away. I feel like it really needs this win for momentum.
Brian, what is your interest level in this match, and who do you have winning?
My interest level would be around a 4. I see the Cosmic Wasteland winning. As Anthony put it earlier, they need this win more than Neville does. Neville could lose, and it could end up being more of a clean slate for him. He could actually find a reputable feud with someone that actually means something, where this should have died off maybe somewhere around SummerSlam after Stephen Amell entered the picture.
Yeah.
I feel like the Ascension would benefit from it because you're putting them in a situation where they're vulnerable again. If they lose yet again after what seems to be more of a re-debut, so to speak, than a repackage like they normally do, you're just gonna really kill their momentum because they've done that once with their main roster debut. Everybody's seen how powerful they were at NXT, brought them up to the main roster and killed them.
Mark, all right, who do you think win, and what is your interest level in this match?
Okay, my interest level isn't that high. I would say maybe like a 4 or a 5. It all really depends on what Stardust, I was going to call him Cody, but I guess Cody's dead. So
He's not.
what Stardust...
He's a prisoner.
Okay. But he did tweet out that he's actually getting new gear. So I'm assuming that this is going to be carrying on for a while. So I would like to see where they go from here. But as far as the match goes, I actually think Stardust and the Ascension are going to go over. But they're still keeping with this comic book theme. Even the Lucha Dragons and their bright colors fit perfectly into it.
Before we move on, I have a question that I'd like to ask Brian. We were talking about the Ascension and this possibly hurting them. If they had plans for Stardust to maybe be a bigger character, wouldn't the Ascension helping him get there benefit them as well? Because I don't think that they're ever going to be that team that is the dominant tag team in the division. But if they can get some rub off of Stardust, then I don't see how that would hurt them, especially considering that they were relegated to main event and superstars. Do you think that possibly that could help them in the future, just being his goons, so to speak, no pun intended?
They need it because you pretty much don't have nothing to do with the Ascension. So they need it. No one's behind them. No one likes them ever since they've been called up. So I'm down with them for now in this trio. In fact, I have them winning. I think they're going to win. But my interest level on this is like a 3.
So, before we move on, there one more question, something just spawned up for me. Neville, when he debuted on the roster, we were all worrying about would he be lost in the shuffle after having those incredible matches early with Rollins, and then he had one with great one with Cena. How do we feel about Neville now? Like, is this just what he is now?
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier with him losing would actually almost be a good thing for him because you would almost forget about the feud he had with Stardust in the light that they could pigeonhole him as this comic book wrestler who all he does is these high fly moves and he's not a legitimate wrestler. Not saying that's what would happen, but it's possible. As far as the Ascension goes, they almost benefit from having Stardust in their corner because he can teach them stuff as far as behind the scenes as well as in ring because he's been part of multiple tag teams in the past. So they should benefit from being with Stardust regardless of a win or not, but they need the win.
What I would do with Neville is coming out of this feud with Ryback with Kevin Owens. If I had Owens go over Ryback, then Owens is able to elevate people that can't talk and bring it out of them. I feel like he can get the most out of Neville and they would have great matches. So that's what I would do. And I don't think he needs to win at this pay-per-view to get there. I think he can just simply get him there with a promo where he's bullying Owens or Owens bullies him. You know, there's so many ways to do it. But that's what I would do, and that's my last take on it.
Well, they need something to happen with him because the last couple of years, NXT stars that's been brought up, they haven't really done too much with them except for maybe a handful of them. Who knows? Any final thoughts on this, guys?
We spent longer on this than they're probably going to have on the match.
Basically, I'd say this is like a 5-minute match, but
Well, let's just be thankful that he's not Mighty Mouse and move on.
that is true.
But Dan, you are like, okay, well, seeing Stardust keep riding out and you're no longer begging Cody Rhodes to come back immediately. You're going to see where this goes, right?
I'm currently drawing up a petition to bring back Cody Rhodes.
No.
Well, I mean, I'm going to ride this out as long as it can go, but it only benefits the Ascension, so I'm down with it if it helps them in some sort of way.
Yeah, that's not mean the only thing to help them. If Stardust can't help them, nothing will.
All right, moving on to the second match of the night. Rusev with Summer Rae versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, this match been going on for about maybe 3 or 4 months. The whole thing between Rusev and Lana and Dolph Ziggler being her beau and boyfriend and hero and Rusev dealing with Summer Rae, and now there's this feud between Summer Rae and Lana. However, Lana's out of action for a while. Dolph Ziggler's kind of pushing up on Summer Rae. Don't know what that means.
Don't worry, WWE doesn't know what it means either.
Yeah, because right now it's bad storytelling.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go right ahead.
You know, we spent a lot of time on the pre-show match, and we can make up our time on the pre-show match by just skipping this one altogether and boycotting it. Bros before hoes, get rid of both the girls, and just be done with it.
We don't gotta really talk about the match as much because the match is pretty much irrelevant. It's gonna be a great match. The problem is you don't know why, like Dan said, they're having the match because they had a direction they were gonna go, and I'm pretty sure we all thought it was gonna be an entertainer tag match. And then Lana got hurt, and their little squabble deal, and it hurt her wrist. And we've heard now that maybe they're thinking about Lana and Rusev being put back together because they realized the storyline was stupid to begin with when they're still a real life couple. And they're teasing Summer Rae now, possibly Mia with the dog. Like, I don't care. I've checked so far out of this story.
Who would want to see a tag team match, though?
They don't. They want to see Lana and Summer Rae squabble. That's why you have the match.
I would love to see that. Mark, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like this storyline still, or do you just want it to be killed?
My thoughts on this match is the whole feud was set up because Dolph Ziggler wanted multiple women because he's a womanizer, and I'm through with that. Lana should go back to Rusev, if anything.
Yeah, she will eventually.
She never left Rusev.
Well, outside of wrestling, she never left him, but
Don't kill kayfabe, man.
No, I don't want them to insult my intelligence any longer, sir. I'm saving the IWC is what I'm doing.
Brian, who do you think should win and who do you think will win?
Rusev should win, and he should win because he's the more dominant person out of this match and gained the most out of winning.
And what is your interest level on this?
My interest level is a -1.
Wow.
Sir.
Wow.
-1.
Anthony, who do you think should win and will win, and your interest level?
Rusev should win. Rusev will win because Summer Rae will somehow distract Dolph Ziggler. That will be how the match ends. I don't know how they get there, but that will be what happens. My interest level, I will top Brian and say -88.
Wow, everyone's hating on this. Mark, can you say this?
I'm going actually the exact opposite of Anthony. I think Rusev should win, but I actually think that Dolph wins because of a distraction from Summer Rae, which leads whenever Lana does come back, joining up with Rusev and telling off Dolph. I'll at least give it a 3 on interest.
For me, I think this is going to be a twist. I feel like Dolph Ziggler is going to turn heel for some way, and once again, we're going to see Rusev seeking pity from everyone. When Lana comes back, she's going to feel sorry for them, and it's going to continue with the feud.
Wait, hold on, Dan. Didn't you say that was your worst case scenario, turning Rusev face?
Yeah, but I mean, it's too late now. It's like they made him weak, so it's like whatever.
It doesn't mean WWE creative won't do it, just because it's the worst case scenario.
How do you turn a guy face that bullies women and tells them to be obedient? He's not face. There's nothing face about him.
They're going to make us feel sorry for him because he just can't keep a woman.
Is the owner and operator of WWE not Vince McMahon? Come on.
Did that ever work for Kane?
Not really.
Okay.
I felt sorry for him.
But Rusev had so much more potential, and it's like they just crapped on it. But I think who should win, Rusev, and will win, Rusev. My interest level scale on this is a 1.
Wow, so you can't save it either.
No.
Okay.
This is just horrible. Third match, Divas title match. Nikki Bella defending her title, who is the longest reigning Divas champion, beat AJ this past Monday night, versus Charlotte. This whole thing started back with the Divas Revolution. Personally, if you've been listening, I can't stand this Divas Revolution right now. I'm ready for it to be done with, be over with. Let's just move on from this Divas Revolution. I could care less who wins this match because Nikki beat AJ's record.
You realize without this Divas Revolution, you don't have these Divas matches right now?
It sounds like he doesn't really want to watch them anyway, so really, he's not benefiting from the revolution.
No, what he wants, and that's not what Dan wants. Dan wants to get to the finish line before you get there, right? So Dan is ready for us to get the big Charlotte title match thrown at us right away. and he's ready for her to start her feud with Charlotte and Becky.
Dan is just salty right now.
Dan, you gotta build your way up there, sir. They gotta have something for WrestleMania.
And what's that? Because right now it doesn't make me no difference. They let Nikki Bella win, or well, let her beat AJ's record, and I'm done with it.
Okay, but I explained to you, and I'll try one more time why it makes more sense that way. Because this Sunday, when Charlotte takes the title off the longest reigning Divas champion, whoever takes the title off her, that gives her that much more credibility when they meet the woman who beat the longest reigning Divas champion. If they beat the woman who was almost the longest reigning Divas champion, it doesn't mean jack what.
Because right now they're going to put Charlotte over AJ because Nikki beat AJ and Charlotte beat Nikki, so therefore Charlotte is better than both of them.
Hey, let's make Charlotte the longest reigning Divas champ.
Why not? Make her daddy happy.
So why don't you have Charlotte go all the way to WrestleMania? And then by then, you have somebody take the title off of her, and you're tired of seeing her as champ that long. No matter what, you're gonna be wanting to see something different in the Divas division because we got so many options right now.
The direction of this was just horrible and tiresome and overkill.
You have to start somewhere. There has to be a building block. This allows you to have 9 different options of telling the rivalries and stories coming out of it. You got 3 different teams with 3 different one-on-one feuds you can do right away. Then you can eventually lead to the jealousy, which they're doing with Paige and Charlotte and Becky. You're going to see Paige turn out of those. There's so many options this team thing gave you. I don't see how you can't be a fan of it. I think it went too long as far as breaking them up or starting to set them apart.
Exactly.
But I'm okay with the format, though.
Mark, what do you think?
I think that the best feud and the best matches are actually going to be from Sasha and Paige, which I can't understand how you're not excited about seeing what was the best female wrestler on the roster versus the best newcoming wrestler on the roster. And AJ's record ended with Paige, by the way, the night after WrestleMania. So she was the best. They just had it on Nikki, and now Nikki gets to start this because it's a new chapter, quote unquote, the Divas Revolution. So obviously they wanted a fresh start, and the fresh face was Nikki Bella. So now the queen has to fall at some point.
And let us not forget that AJ only had that record by one day. So it ain't like AJ took that record and shattered it. That's not the format they use.
Here's the thing, my problem, and maybe I haven't been clear about it though. If they never like made it to where she's gonna break AJ's record, I'd be okay with it. But the whole emphasis on it was just AJ this, AJ that, AJ.
But you don't think AJ did the same thing? Like when AJ was getting close to her title run, it was the same story. As a matter of fact, AJ had her heel celebration on SmackDown that nobody showed up for. They just did the same thing this past Thursday.
Who did AJ beat as far as the record?
I think it was Trish Stratus.
And before that, I probably would have never known that.
But back then you did, because AJ didn't let you forget it. She told you over and over.
And you getting Anthony all fired up on this one, dude.
I'm just saying, they're doing the same thing. This format is no different. AJ was not the longest reigning champion for 15 years. That wasn't it. So this whole hating for Nikki taking this reign is dumb, especially when all Nikki is doing is setting up these other divas to have a better career than her.
It's all BS to me. What is the backstage politics? That's one theory, but I don't care too much. Like I said, I don't care about this match though.
So we all agree Charlotte's winning. We got Charlotte.
I don't care.
Yep.
Nikki could win for all I care.
I actually do think Nikki's winning.
Wow. Okay, Mark, so tell us why you think Nikki is winning, and then Dan can tell you why he doesn't care.
Just because they've told this story, and so we all thought on Monday Night Raw it was finally going to end. Oh my word, yay. But it didn't. And now this added in stipulation, you can't count out, no DQ, yada yada yada, or else Nikki drops the belt. Nikki's actually going to show that she can perform and just straight up beat Charlotte.
I came up with an alternate finish that I gave Mark before we started the show. Check this out. Charlotte can win the belt if Nikki is disqualified in any sort of way, correct? What if Brie Bella attack Nikki Bella on behalf of Charlotte.
I could see that happening.
Then Nikki Bella retains. Now, of course, if that happens, then Stephanie's music has to hit and she has to come out and say, "Oh, you think you're slick, huh? Well, that's not going to happen. Restart the match."
I think Stephanie needs to stay away from this whole Divas.
She's not going to. If there's any kind of finish, Stephanie's coming out.
Stephanie said that she could win that the belt would transfer via DQ. So if Brie did that, she would cost the belt for Nikki.
No. But what if she's interfering? What if she beats up Nikki? Then that's actually helping Charlotte.
Oh, okay, I got you. I thought you meant she was gonna sacrifice Nikki by attacking her.
No, but that could be the plan. Nikki can be like, "All right, well, you beat me up, and then it'll look like you're helping Charlotte, and then I keep the belt."
That would have made sense back when Brie was like Nikki's slave, and
I would have done that finish on Monday night rather than Twin Magic.
So what's everyone's interest level in this?
I'm going to give it a 6, just because I want to see if Nikki retains, and if Charlotte does win, I feel like they're setting her up too soon.
Brian?
I completely agree with Anthony that they are building her up too soon, which makes me want to agree with Mark that she's not going to win. Either way, no matter how you work the ending, it could be detrimental to Charlotte either way. I'm going to say interest level is about a 4, just because I want to see who wins, and Charlotte's not that bad of looking wrestler to watch wrestle.
And by the way, for Vince McMahon, who said nobody would ever remember Charlotte losing on Raw in 2.5 minutes to Natalya, I remember, Vince. I remember.
Mark, what do you think? Your interest level?
I'm going to go with a 7. I do think that Nikki's going to retain somewhat because of what Brian and Anthony talked about. I just think it's a little too soon for Charlotte just to get it. And I think eventually, if she gets it and kind of has a stale run, her first run, it might be quite a long time before she's able to get the crowd back. I think that they would turn on her kind of like they did Roman Reigns, because whether or not that Nikki Bella only has the title because of John Cena, the same could be true with Charlotte. She only has the belt because she's a Flair. So, I mean, eventually the crowd will turn on her.
How do you not turn a Flair heel anyway?
She's got it in her DNA. All she needs to do is win the title and then just become heel.
I mean, do you really want her to be healed this quickly?
Yes, she's a Flair. I don't want a Flair babyface.
Let her get her feet wet.
I'm with Dan. Like, her promos aren't on par to be a heel. She got flustered with the crowd booing the crap out of her. Yeah, this is not the right time to turn her heel yet.
Yeah, the Rocky Mountain got flustered when the crowd turned on him, too.
I was going to say that the same thing, almost similar to what Mark said, because of the crowd reaction and that her promos aren't up to par with, some of the other wrestlers, the female wrestlers, that it would be a good time for her to turn heel, because most people perform better under pressure. What better pressure than to have the entire arena booing you at the same time?
Yeah, I think it would really bring out a new side of her. I don't know if they're going to do it yet. I feel like they're leaning toward turning Paige if they're going to turn anybody good. And I think that would be the right move, because Paige has heel written all over her, and she would be great for elevating some of these. But it feels like we have an overstack of heels. Sasha obviously has to make a turn, but I don't know how or when. And that character with the boss gimmick, I don't know how that works as a face. The crowd is going to cheer it, but it's not a face gimmick.
Basically, if Sasha were to turn face, the crowd will love it because she's a fan favorite as it is, and I will be down for that. As far as my interest level in this, I'm giving it a 0, and I don't care who wins, but I'm just going to say Nikki's going to win this.
Okay, so let's say, Dan, if they hadn't broken AJ's streak, hypothetically speaking, what would your interest level be in it then?
That means that Charlotte would have won the title on Monday Night Raw, and they would have had a rematch. Then my interest level would have been a 6.
Why? Because then if Nikki Bella wins, does it go back to a 0?
No.
So, just for the simple fact that AJ had her record broken, that's all you have against Nikki, is that Nikki broke the record.
Oh, come on. You know I got more than that against Nikki.
Why would it go from a 0 to like a 6?
Because it made sense for me, storyline reason, that finally someone new broke your record, or when you came close to breaking the record, someone new broke it and you're pissed off. You had to start from fresh, and maybe she might try it again, go another year to being a champion, and someone else beats her next year. Who knows? That's how I would write it.
What I'm gonna say is that Nikki Bella at the very end here has been ribbing herself. That celebration on Thursday was hilarious. Nikki has embraced the audience hating her, and she used it to help elevate these other women, and I am very glad that she did break the record, because I do think that it's going to help the women a lot more going in the future. You can't be worried about protecting somebody that isn't coming back.
Well, we can protect Nikki Bella because she's John Cena's girlfriend, right?
She's still there.
The fourth match of the night, we got the Wyatt family versus Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and a mystery partner. We really don't know who the mystery partner is. We have so many theories, but this match or this feud goes back to Money in the Bank when Bray Wyatt calls Roman Reigns to reach over and get that briefcase when he was attacked. Next pay-per-view at Battleground, they fought. Out comes Luke Harper to form the Wyatt family, and then we find out that we get Braun Strowman, who was the black sheep, which we thought that Rowan was going to come back as the white sheep, but Rowan's out for a while still, injured. Mark, who do you think will be their mystery partner?
The Rock is going to come back, and I know most people are like, oh, he's filming. Yeah, the Rock really doesn't care. He can take a break whenever he wants to. He's one of the highest grossing actors around. But I still think that the Wyatt family is actually going to be victorious in this.
Do you think there's a possibility there could be someone else, or are you just set on it's going to be The Rock?
No, I also have a feeling that it could either be Eric Rowan, The Rock, maybe Kane. I really expect Kane to go back after Brock whenever he comes back. Maybe they might pull someone up from NXT. That would be a pretty cool debut, but I don't expect that.
Anthony, who do you think is going to be the mystery partner? And is there any other possibilities it could be someone else?
I've heard everybody from Papa Shango, Waylon Mercy, Duke the Dumpster, Savio Vega, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be, and this is the latest name I've heard, Y2J, Chris Jericho.
Wow, I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, Jericho could be the guy. I don't want it to be. The Rock makes the most sense, but with him announcing that he is also a new father, congratulations to The Rock on that, I don't see where it would be him, especially by making the movie. It makes the most sense for it to be The Rock. Like, if you listen to our last episode, we came up with great ways to turn Roman Reigns heel in this match. No matter what happens in this match, then, they gotta advance the story somehow, and you either have the Wyatt and Braun Strowman just destroy whatever this team is, and you be done with it. You have the Shield break up somehow in this, and those are the only two options I think you have. I don't think that no matter what happens, Roman can't win cleanly. That's a worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's very interesting, that Y2J scenario. Brian, who do you think is their mystery partner, and what other possibility could it be?
Congratulations again to Dwayne for expecting to have a pebble. We'll pick Seth freaking Rollins as the mystery partner.
Oh, shut your mouth.
It is going to be Seth freaking Rollins. Suck it up and enjoy the show, sir.
He's gonna work 3 times in one night, sir.
He is, because he is the man. And they can take my $9.99 every month. Enjoy it. It's going to be Seth freaking Rollins, and that's it. Leave that.
You guys want the Shield to reunite so bad.
No, not you guys. I'm done with it. That's not happening, sir.
So you just
This
burned
guy.
that bridge.
Yeah, it's done. Seth Rollins needs to be Seth Rollins. He's got a big night ahead of him, so I think he's good on that. We got the Wyatts need to win this more than the Shield, correct?
Depends on who their partner is.
I don't care who their partner is. That makes them look the Wyatts look even better.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my scenario. I feel like, yeah, it could be The Rock, but I'm gonna put that to the side until I see some mystery tweet or something on Instagram that indicates that he's in the area wherever Night of Champions is at. I really think that it could be Rowan, even though they say that he hasn't been in the performance center to like get ring ready or anything like that. I think they're trying to hide him and trying to make it a real surprise, so we could be shocked.
You really think we're gonna mark out of his Eric Rowan all the names we just threw out?
Storyline purposes is gonna be good.
No, it won't.
Why not?
You want me to believe that Eric Rowan can knock out Braun Strowman?
He's the white sheep.
That's great, and the White Sheep's gonna get massacred and he's gonna get sacrificed.
That's fine. He can get sacrificed, but he's sacrificing himself so that the Shield can win. And yes, I'm just going to call them the Shield for all purposes. So he will sacrifice himself to the Black Sheep so they can win. That's fine. If you agree that they need to win, that's what they're going to have to do to make the story make sense. Because anybody else It's just, oh, I'm pulling in The Rock from a movie because I have him on a Legends contract or whatever you want to call it. So that's it, really? You just pull The Rock in for one night and then all of a sudden.
No, you're setting The Rock up for the match with Roman at WrestleMania. That's what you're doing.
Only if they do it right. If they win or lose, if there's no conflict between Roman and The Rock by the end of the match, or at least doesn't cause the end of the match.
If there's no conflict with anybody in this third partner, whoever it is, if this match doesn't end with conflict on the good guy side somehow, this match has to fail.
But then you're going to tell me that we brought in this brand new guy, and all of a sudden we're going to have conflict with him. Our debut match together, we're going to have conflict.
Will this match not suck if it doesn't?
The match is going to suck regardless, sir.
Whoa, I don't know. It all depends on who's that mystery partner. But I'm going to throw this one name out as a wild card. I think in some sort of way that this is going to end in a DQ. I don't know why. I'm going to say we're going to see the debut of Big Cass and Enzo Amore to help.
That is awful. That is awful, Dan.
That would be horrible.
It's going to be Brock Lesnar.
That would not make any sense to have him next to Roman Reigns.
Well, see, Mark is under the impression that Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman are going to have this relation somehow. Now, I could see that because Paul has heavily endorsed Roman in the past. Roman has heavily endorsed Paul. However, Brock being the third man, that's a stretch. Now, if he is, he's the only guy on the entire roster that I can believe could pick Braun Strowman up and throw him around. I can't believe, not even Cesaro. If you told me Cesaro was fighting Braun Strowman, I'd be like, Cesaro is about to die.
What if it's the Big Show?
If it's the Big Show, that's the worst ever hype mystery partner in the history of mystery partners.
Brian, who do you think is going to win or should win, and who you think will win?
I follow the Buzzards. Bray's got to win. He's going to win. Level, even though I know the match is going to suck, my interest level, just because it's Bray, I would give it a 5. Just because I think it might be an interesting match, but we've seen these teams fight each other before in the past. And I'm sorry, part of the reason that the matches were so entertaining was because of Seth freaking Rollins. So there.
Anthony, who do you think is going to win or should win, and your interest level?
The Wyatts are going to win, but I think it has to happen because of some collusion on the good guy team. I think you can do it with anybody who the third man is. For instance, if it's The Rock, then you're setting up that thing with Roman. If it's Jericho, he has a history with the Wyatts. So you're going to have him say that, I'm working for them or I double-crossed my team for that. He could hit Ambrose with a code breaker and that sets up a feud for Ambrose. Either way, there's things you can do, but the Wyatts have to come out on top, but I don't think they have to do it by being dominant. I think you're going to benefit more by creating another story out of this so it doesn't have to continue, because I know, for one, I can't take Bray stalking Roman anymore. I'm so sick of this story.
How awesome would it be, though, if Bradshaw came back from retirement and they hired him as a part of the APA?
Well, then you have to have Farouk in there, too.
Yeah, he's only one guy. That's not going to work without Farouk.
Mark, who do you think is going to win or should win, and your interest level?
Definitely think the Wyatts have to win, simply because you just came out with the Black Sheep, the face of destruction. If he doesn't do some more destruction in his first official match, I'm going to be highly upset. Interest level is at an 8, actually, simply because even though Brian doesn't want to give them credit, the rest of the members of both the Shield and the Wyatts helped perform in those outstanding matches that they had in the past, and just the suspense of having a mystery partner just adds to it.
I would tell you, if I have one concern before we move on in this, it would be watching Braun Strowman, is I haven't seen him sell yet, so I don't know what kind of match he can actually have. Like, I haven't seen him take a bump yet. He hasn't been knocked off his feet or anything.
He's going to sell like Brock and Roman do.
I would hate for this to be like a horrible match.
Get ready for it, because it's going to be horrible.
Because we've seen this big guy and we think like he's going to destroy. Because every time we see a big guy and we think he's going to be the next big destroyer,
he turns into Kali.
Yeah, and then you just never see him anymore. That's just how I feel. But I think it's going to end up in a DQ. But if it's not a DQ, I think the Wyatt needs to win this and will win this. And my interest level scale on this is a 5. Now, I could turn it into a 10 if I see the Yeti come out and be the mystery partner.
All right, we're going to move on. That's crap.
All right, moving on. We're going to go with the United States title match. John Cena and Seth Rollins. This match goes all the way back to SummerSlam. A little bit before that, when Seth Rollins broke his nose when John Cena challenged him at SummerSlam. Seth Rollins beats John Cena. Then the next night, he celebrates, gets his statue, and John Cena invokes his rematch clause, and we're going to get this match. Some people feel like John Cena is going to win this. I feel like Seth Rollins is going to win. Anthony, who do you think is going to win? Or what do you think about this match, period?
The match is going to be good because it's always good when these two are in the ring together. The winner is going to be John Cena.
Oh, I knew you were going to do it.
John Cena. I think this is the start of a very bad night for Seth Rollins.
I mean, if you have John Cena winning, it's like, why even have, well, obviously, because that means that Seth Rollins wouldn't have won the title. This match here, I don't too particularly care for. This might be the best match of the night, but who knows? I'm not invested in this match really too much. Brian, what about you?
I wouldn't get carried away and say it's going to be one of the best ones. Realistically speaking, to further the storyline of Seth's character, he needs to know what it feels like to lose everything while being on top. This is the prime time for him to do it. I say that he's going to lose the belt to Cena. I don't think that he should, but for his benefit, he will be losing it to Cena at Night of Champions.
While I agree with what Brian said, I think it would have made more sense had they continued the whole authority thing where Seth is like, I don't need you, I don't need you. And they're like, well, fine, do it on your own. But as we saw at the end of Raw, they're sitting there picking Seth up and they're still trying to get his ego built up. I would have made it a lot more sense if they were trying to separate themselves from him and then he lose it all to become the humbled guy. Then you can turn him face, but I don't know. I don't see how that's possible coming out of this pay-per-view now.
Here's the thing, he won the title without their help. So it would be one thing if he won it with their help, but he's won it without their help. He needs to lose it because of them.
I don't think Seth Rollins needs to turn face right now. He's on a roll as being a heel, and I don't think you need to change him right now.
But you have Sheamus, who is a heel and can't be anything but a heel. And if he is going to cash in his briefcase, you can't have Seth as the heel chasing him for it.
Yeah, you can.
How?
We just don't have to market heel versus heel. I mean, this is a new age. We don't have to necessarily say, oh, you're a heel, so you got face to face.
You're telling a story, Dan. It isn't about just the match. You've got to tell a story over like a 3-month stretch. Of course, it doesn't matter if they're heel or face in the match, but getting the story told in between then, it does matter.
I disagree with that because Sheamus is the Money in the Bank winner and he can cash in on any time depending on who's the champion is, and it really doesn't matter. I mean, what story can you tell from there?
From there on out, you have to go with Seth being cheated, and he has to be the guy that gets sympathy. If you don't, then you're constantly running the whole I want my belt back, and you're going, well, come get me, fella. Then one of them has to get crowd favorite out of it, and then once they do, you have to call them a good guy. If not, then you don't have a story.
It's still, I feel like you're not going to get too much crowd favor in anything when it's dealing with Sheamus too much. But still, I feel like what Seth Rollins is doing now and the run that he has now, it's a good thing. Keep it that way.
So I have John Cena winning the U.S. title. You have Seth Rollins. Brian, you have Seth Rollins as well?
I have Seth Rollins losing, but my thinking is I feel like he should win the belt. He should retain it with help of the authority. The reason behind it, I feel like Cena should be so upset over the fact that someone interfered in his match and cost him the belt that he feels like he should be a unofficial special enforcer during the Sting and Seth match and should call Sting the opportunity. That'll allow Sheamus to come out and attack Seth and cash in and win the belt. That will feud Sting and Cena and then Sheamus and Seth Rollins.
Wow.
You have a Sting and Cena feud?
I do have them feuding at WrestleMania, yes.
Wow, okay.
Mark, what do you think?
Okay, so back to Anthony's point about dropping Seth Rollins and doing that with the authority. When does Triple H ever drop someone and just slowly work his way away from them? It's always he builds you up, builds you up, builds you up until it's time to thumbs down and you get dropped on your head. That's what's going to happen to Seth Rollins. And Anthony's kind of right. He is going to lose it all. And the authority's going to want nothing to do with him afterwards. We've already seen them go with Cena whenever Cena was champ. So they just kind of move back and forth to whatever's best for business at the moment in time. But I do think Seth's losing to Cena.
Wow. So, what is everyone's interest level on this before we move on?
I'm going to give it about a 6 again. I know we're grading a lot of these matches in the middle here, but we're just waiting to see what kind of the fallout is. They're kind of stuck in limbo with what they can do and what they can't do. I'm going to give it a 6. The match ain't going to deliver. I got Cena winning. I don't know how that helps Seth. I will say that if Seth is going to win a match tonight, it will mean this one. So if he does walk away with the title, it will mean the United States title.
Mark, your interest in this?
My interest at a 7, just because I absolutely love Seth Rollins, and I think that the match is going to be great.
Brian?
I will give my interest 4, just because it would be a 7 with Seth Rollins. I give Cena a -3.
Oh,
Overall, it takes it down to a 4.
That's cool.
that's John Cena hating is ridiculous.
It's fine, but I'm quick on my math, so it makes up for it. I will say that he will lose every title Sunday at Night of Champions because it's best for business. I don't know how it's going to play out with Cena in the end on the last match, but I do see Cena costing Sting the title opportunity, and we see a successful cash-in from the Hawk.
Here's the thing. To me, this is kind of bad booking. I give this a 5. I wish I could give it higher than this, but I can't. The only thing I can say as far as technicality of the in-ring work, it would be much higher. And like I said, this could be the best match of the night, but who knows?
I just want to say, I don't want to see another springboard stunner.
Oh gosh, no. I don't
Can
want
we retire that move now? He's done it enough.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next match, we have the Intercontinental title match. Ryback defending his title against Kevin Owens. This match goes back after SummerSlam when he defeated Kevin Owens, who defeated Cesaro and moved on to Ryback, who has his eyes set on his title after unsuccessfully getting the United States title from John Cena months ago. Really, I don't care for this match either. I think Ryback still will win, and my interest on this is about 3. Anthony, what do you think?
My interest is going to be about a 6 again. I'm going to go about middle. And I'm going to say Kevin Owens is going to win. Ryback, I know Seth got the belt, but he's coming off those injuries. I feel like Owens just has more to gain from him. Intercontinental champion. He can make the belt more prestigious. Kevin needs it more than Ryback. I'm going with Kevin Owens.
Wow, no bias, huh?
Not at all, man. No. That's strictly just by the book.
Mark, what do you think?
If you want to give the belt itself more prestige, it's already on someone, and Kevin Owens went toe-to-toe with John Cena and just fell up short. If you want to make the belt more prestigious, you let Ryback retain it over Kevin Owens.
Oh.
I really don't know which way that they're going to go. I do agree with Anthony that having the belt on Kevin Owens is better, but not specifically for the Intercontinental title itself. So I don't know which way they're going to go. I'm actually going to go with Ryback retains, but my interest is about a 5.
So let me ask you this, Anthony. If Kevin Owens loses, what do you think? Do you think this is bad for him, or do you think he really needs that title, like really, really bad?
I mean, no. And the fact, like Mark said, if Ryback did beat him, it's a big win for Ryback. It makes Ryback look really good. Like, if Ryback wins this one, they're not done yet. That's what I'll say.
Ryan, what is your prediction on who you think should win and who will win in your interest level?
Who should win? Kevin Owens. Who will win? Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens needs to win because he already had an opportunity to win the U.S. title and couldn't do it. Even though he's won cleanly against John Cena, for some reason, he could not obtain the U.S. belt. For him to lose 2 title opportunities back to back like that, not necessarily will hurt him. It actually probably piss him off even more and it would be more dangerous.
Well, let's not forget he also added the NXT title to that as well.
True, but he dropped it.
Well, he lost it twice, though. He lost the rematch as well.
Okay, well there you go. He did. He lost it first in Tokyo, and then he lost it on the in Brooklyn, right?
Yep.
The rematch.
Yeah, the ladder match.
So yeah, they obviously have him in line for something better. I hate to even say the word better, but for greater things. So he should win. He definitely needs it more than Ryback does. I think the biggest beneficiary from the match would be Ryback. He can learn a lot of things from Owens. But I think if they were to feud and maybe do a back and forth feud where they like a 2 out of 3 series, it would actually help Ryback, branch out a little bit.
If Ryback were gonna have this long Intercontinental title reign, build him up to be ready for a world title, then I'd be okay with it. But I can't see Ryback ever being the guy that they want to put the big strap on.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like he's progressing any in this title reign that he has. It's almost like, well, people got injured, so we're going to throw the strap on you. Oh, he's actually doing a fairly good job. It's almost like promoting somebody because you had no other choice. And then they're doing an okay job, but you wouldn't want to make them store manager.
Let him have a chance. Let him see what he can do.
He's got a chance. He's had one.
Let him continue on with his chance. We don't really need to give Kevin Owens the belt just because he's Kevin Owens. I mean, really.
So what do you do with Kevin Owens?
I mean, to be honest with you, this is bad booking right here too. And to be honest, let's get real. They just say, hey, we can't find anybody for Ryback at the moment. We're just going to throw in Kevin Owens just because. And then we'll tell the IWC that, hey, we're not trying to bury him or anything like that. At least we're giving him a push a little bit.
I think they're trying to find a replacement for the IC title holder.
So do I.
And they found one in Kevin Owens because technically I would rather see Kevin Owens feud different people every week for the title. I would love to see him do an open IC challenge every week.
When you say that Kevin Owens doesn't need the belt, I would counter that by saying his character needs the belt more than any other because that's what his character is built on. His character is built on, I need money for my family, and I don't have money for my family unless I'm holding the belt, which gets me more money. He needs that title for his character to work with.
His character is making money because he's on the main roster.
That's the kayfabe answer. I'm talking about the kayfabe answer.
They can still go with that. I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's still too early for this whole Kevin Owens having a strap around him or whatnot. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not the biggest Kevin Owens fan, but I'm not the biggest hater, though.
All right, when you say it's too early, they put the U.S. title on Cesaro within 2 months of him being on the roster. They put the U.S. title on Daniel Bryan within 3 months of him being on the roster.
And look at where both of those gentlemen are.
And well, I mean, it didn't help Cesaro.
So you think that Kevin Owens is going to have a good title reign?
Kevin Owens can lose this match and the next 4, and his WWE career is still going to be a success because he's Kevin freaking Owens. Everything he does is great.
Hey, don't be stealing people's catchphrases. It's not it's not Kevin freaking Owens.
No.
It's Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, too late. Demoed.
I feel like we should have Kurt Angle on this show. All right, any final thoughts before we move on?
Like I said, I hope Owens wins. Just being an Owens fan, everybody knows I am. Blah, blah, blah. If he doesn't, it's going to continue the feud, so I'm okay as long as Ryback's win leaves Owens a reason to complain.
He is always going to have a reason to complain.
All right, next match, we got the New Day defending their title against the Dudley Boys, who came back the night after SummerSlam and made a big impact. The New Day don't like the Dudley because the Dudley Boys just have this fascination of breaking tables, putting people through tables, and they wanted to stop. In fact, the New Day had drew up a petition for everyone to sign so the Dudley Boys can stop breaking tables. Give tables a chance.
Hashtag save the tables.
Save the tables. To be honest with you, as much as I love the Dudley Boys' return, I think New Day is going to win and should win. But this feud is going to continue, and I'm about an 8. However, I do think it could be a DQ because Dudley Boys just can't help themselves and just put someone through the table.
First off, I got a problem right now that I want to address, and I want to address the crowd on SmackDown on Thursday night. Maybe it was the one on Raw as well. Whenever the New Day cuts a promo about Mother Nature, and Courtney says, you don't insult your mama, and the crowd is sitting on their hands. What is wrong with you people? That was a hilarious promo. Everything the New Day does is hilarious, but that was great. The Mother Nature line.
What city were they in?
Can't remember off the top of my head. I know it was awful, though. Like, they need to, you people, you WWE Universe, appreciate the New Day and their comedy while you have it.
When are they going to be officially faced now?
They're not, hopefully never, because this is great. This is what they do. This is why they killed Fandango. They realized the crowd went, oh, look at them Fandango, and let's turn him face real quick. No, if the crowd is sure what they're doing, leave it the way it is, because it's working.
Yeah, I guess so.
If Mark, it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Mark, what do you think about this match and your prediction?
Well, first off, I think that the New Day rocks, and I'm just going to throw that out there again. I do enjoy the Dudleys being back, but I do not think that they're winning the first one. Whether it's the Freebird rule and maybe Kofi Kingston or Xavier Wood, don't break the wood, cheats and maybe steals one from the Dudleys. I think eventually it leads into a tables match where the Dudleys finally win. My excitement level for this is at a 9, sir, because New Day rocks of awesomeness.
That they do. Brian?
Well, I know that Mark is a proponent and an advocate for the Save the Tables movement, but I will have to say that petition is not going to be signed, sir. and somebody's going through some tables. And I'm willing to bet that we even see Spike Dudley show up. Yes, I said it. I think he's coming, and it'll be a 3-on-3 because that's best for business.
Brad, let me channel my inner New Day for you for a second about going through tables. No, 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 no. There aren't going to be no tables on this Sunday. No, 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 no. We're going to save the tables. Nobody's going through one. They're going to build up, unfortunately, to a table match, and I don't know. They'll probably do that at Survivor Series, but I seen the New Day getting a dirty win here, and I think that could possibly bring Spike back into the fold at the next show. Then you got to have the Dudleys get screwed over here. So the numbers game has to come into effect.
Do we really want to see Spike Dudley back?
Yes, we want to see Spike Dudley.
I would love to see Spike Dudley back. And to give some insight on the match, I don't think that the New Day is going to win simply because they've held the belts twice now. They're 2-time champs. Yes, I know. So I've heard from them and everybody else in the IWC.
First off, Brian, don't you dare be sour.
I mean, I feel the power, but let's be honest. Somebody needs to go through a table. And somebody's going to go through a table, and somebody's going to become the new tag team champs. And that's the Dudley Boys. And you can testify to that.
So you would waste number 10, their 10th title run, on some B- show?
If you're trying to create a B plus A show.
I don't think that match is going to do it.
Okay, that's y'all's theory. But I feel like the tag team division needs different teams for number one contenders and people vying for the tag team titles to feud with other than New Day. And this goes back to the New Day feuding with possibly other three-man stables like the Ascension with Stardust, or as they call them, the Cosmic Wasteland. And I think that would be a prime example of what you could do with the story. And then possibly move towards at the end of the year, tables, ladders, and chairs, where you have primetime players, possibly New Day and the Dudley Boys in a three-way.
That is an insult to Edge and the Hardys. Well,
Yeah, I want the Hardys to come back.
nah, I know you do.
If we're gonna have Spike Dudley come back, we gotta bring back Molly Holly.
I knew you were going to say that, but you also want Fat Hardy back. Why would you want Fat Hardy back?
Cause he's a Hardy. I mean, come on, everyone loved the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, I did too, back in 1997.
Around the same time we loved the Dudley Boys.
The only thing hardy about him is his cooking, sir.
I actually kept liking the Dudley Boys all throughout these years. I stopped liking the Hardys in 97.
Come on. The Hardys weren't that bad, especially when they were singles.
I would even go a step further. I don't understand the infatuation with Jeff. I always thought Matt was the better worker. Jeff Hardy's whole offense is I'm going to throw my body at you. And that's still his offense to this day. So at least Matt can work, but they're awful. I hate the Hardys.
He used to be able to work.
He can still work, sir. He was in the Kingdom.
Well, Jeff Hardy really can't wrestle too well. I mean, he only has like a few moves.
Why does the crowd like him so much?
Because he sells.
So did Dolph Ziggler.
But everyone's off Dolph Ziggler.
But they're not off Jeff Hardy.
So we all agree that the Dudley Boys are going to win?
Yep, Dudley's are what we got.
Nah.
Well, no.
No,
We got
sir.
New Day,
The
sir.
New Day.
How dare you? New Day is winning.
I know, I got you though.
You did. New Day is winning. We got that. But I think it's going to be good that the New Day win, because they're going to allow the feud to continue. So,
Exactly. Before we move on, any final thoughts?
no, we're going to hop into the main event, man. We're here in it now. Let's go ahead and do it.
All right. Next match, the final match, the main event, WWE World Heavyweight Title match. Seth Rollins puts his title on the line against the franchise, the man they call Sting, my favorite all-time wrestler.
Who you don't even want in this match.
Okay, you know what?
We have it on the podcast.
That we do. I was really pissed off because, I mean, I'm still kind of confused because it doesn't make sense. Why have Sting in this feud or whatever? It just doesn't make sense. The only reason why I see this is happening is because he stole his statue for whatever reason. I don't even know why. What is his...
This is happening because Sting needs it for his resume, and they don't have anything else to do right now.
Because this is what him and Triple H agreed upon in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania 31.
That was the handshake.
Right before he gave him the pedigree, and when he gave the pedigree, he stood up with him, gave him a hug, and he whispered, "This is what you have to do to get in the Hall of Fame." Bam. All I gotta do is destroy your character, and you're in.
Exactly. That's exactly what he did. Destroyed his character at WrestleMania 32.
Let me bury you, and you're in. Bury you right with the other ones.
If you're Sting and you're sitting there in that planning meeting, and they're like, okay, we could have you either A, beat me now in a match that means nothing at WrestleMania, blah, 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 or I beat you, you go away for a while, and the crowd's like, oh, Sting's done, he's washed up. And then I bring you back and make you the World Heavyweight Champion. If I'm Sting, I'm losing at WrestleMania too, without a problem.
He's like, you mean I don't have to go back to TNA?
He was okay at TNA, except for when he became that Joker Sting, and I hated it.
No, that was actually great. That was his best gimmick.
I was gonna say that was actually his best work, probably, sir. Unfortunately,
I hated it.
And it wasn't even his own.
He totally ripped it off Heath Ledger. Every bit of it.
Let's be serious for a second here. Sting winning the title doesn't mean nothing. It's like a burial. It's like, hey, here's a compensation gift here, and then out comes Sheamus to cash in, and he becomes champion for like maybe 2 minutes.
You know who it does mean something to?
Who?
Sting. If it didn't mean something to Sting, he wouldn't be doing it.
To be champion for 5 minutes?
Goes on his record. He's a WWE champion.
Because he's totally not getting paid for this, and that doesn't mean anything to him either, right?
That too, okay, but I promise you that the accolade does mean something.
Something that you could tell his kids or grandkids, like, hey, I was once WWE champion.
Not only that, when you write in the WWE Almanac, when they put out their little almanac every single year, his name is going to be listed. It don't matter how long, it don't matter that it was 15 seconds, his name is going to be listed as a WWE champion.
I have a theory. Not really a theory, but a complaint about this. So when they list these superstars that have won all these titles, you hear Triple H and John Cena and Ric Flair, when they list how many titles they won, when they say this guy's a heavyweight champ for 13 times or 16 times, are they not including the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship as one belt? In all fairness and likelihood, he's actually won the WWE Championship before because he's won the World Heavyweight Championship, and they're the same belt.
And
no, they do not consider them the same belt in the Almanac. In the Almanac, they're separate because Booker T's a 6-time World Heavyweight Champion.
Well, then how is Ric Flair a 16-time World Heavyweight Champion?
Exactly.
Because they're not the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It's
won the WWF title for that twice.
In the Almanac, go and read it. They actually separate the titles.
Okay, so I'm assuming that when they remade the new title, that it just became a new belt.
Yeah.
I don't read the Almanac, really. I just try to keep up with the records. And
so then if John Cena wins again, then he didn't tie Ric Flair.
Not in this new belt regime, you would think.
Technically, you're right about that.
You know, WWE's not going to play it that way.
I think this is just bad for Sting, personally. I mean, he's still a Hall of Famer. It doesn't even matter.
So, if Sting doesn't win, is that fine? Does it matter that he lose this match?
He's just going to be buried even further down, so...
No, he needs to win. He needs to win this match.
At this point, I'm okay with Sting not winning, just because I like Seth Rollins so much. But, I mean, I'm not creative, and I don't run the WWE.
Seth Rollins with a WCW mark when he was watching wrestling growing up. This is probably like one of the biggest honors he's going to have. Seth is probably enjoying every second of this whole entire match with Sting that he's going to have.
Could you imagine being pinned by Sting?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Seth is probably on cloud 9. He's going to have no problem doing the honors.
All right, so before we move on with our prediction and interest level, we have Sting come in. He wins the title for however long. Maybe Sheamus might cash it. Maybe he won't. Maybe he might get a title reign. Vince. Here's the thing. What if that would have happened if Hogan was in good grace with WWE and he said, hey, Vince, I want one more run? Would you be okay with that?
I don't know. Where the hell did that come from?
Absolutely not. But whatever you got over there, I want some because that's insane, dude.
So you're saying, are you trying to sell us a Hogan Sting match at Mania?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, not necessarily though, but let's just take out Sting at the whole scenario. If it was just Hulk Hogan, he just said maybe 6 months ago before the whole scandal, whatever. He never said it, never came out. He said, Vince, I want one more run and I want to win a title at WrestleMania. And we've had this discussion on the podcast before.
And the answer was no then. It was no 8 months ago. It was no 2 years ago. It's going to be no 5 years from now.
So why is it okay for Sting to have a title run and not Hulk Hogan?
Okay, 1, Sting is about 8 years younger. Let's just start there. 2, he hasn't had 49 back surgeries and his knees aren't made of titanium. That's 2. 3, his finisher move ain't a leg drop that involves your legs. Hogan can't work anymore. Those days are long gone. The matches he had in TNA were crap. They wasn't even matches. He had people like Miz in the ring doing all the work for him, and all Hogan does is bleed. And he can't bleed in WWE, so his character is pointless.
Can I say number 4? Sting's not wrestling at WrestleMania for the title.
I was going to ask that. Can we see Sting wrestle for the title at WrestleMania?
No, that's why
Why?
he's winning it now. That's why he's winning it way down here.
But,
We're way
but,
far away.
but let's say everyone's behind it and everyone's like okay with Sting being champion. Let's ride this out to WrestleMania. Are you going to pay to see this?
The only way I would have Sting as my champion is at Mania, is if they're doing the Sting Undertaker thing and Taker beats him at Mania. That's the only way I'm doing it.
Oh, you said Sting beat him or Taker beat him?
Taker beats him, obviously.
All right, and you're okay with Taker being the new champion?
Taker's gonna leave the belt laying in the middle of the ring the next night and retire as well.
And then we'll have a tournament to see
You-
who becomes the new one.
He's not going to retire. Everyone's pretty much said that he has a few more years left in him.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I've read the same reports, but if you're doing WrestleMania 32 and it's in Houston, Texas, and you don't retire him there, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
That's a no-brainer right there.
All right, so Anthony, who do you think should and will win this match?
I got Sting. He should. And I do think that it is only going to be a 30-second reign. Their team Sheamus cashing in way too much. And he's been targeting Seth the whole time. Not once has he directed his attention to Sting, so I think it's going to make a good surprise element. Everybody's going to forget about him for a couple of minutes and just get lost in the fact that Sting's the champ. I think that somehow you have to have Seth or somebody retaliate after Sting is celebrating, and they have to attack at him and not Sheamus. Sheamus needs to take advantage of a wounded Sting rather than do the damage himself. And I think that would maximize the cash in. But I got Sting winning and Sheamus winning the belt to leave the night, and my excitement level is at a 10.
Wow. Brian, who do you think should win and will win in your interest level on this?
Okay, so my interest level is probably not going to be as high as Anthony's. My interest level would probably be around a 7. And again, that's only because Seth Rollins is in the match. Not to sound like a cheap fanboy, but I mean, it's Seth Rollins, and I'm sorry, but Sting is like 60 right now.
That's part of my vote. Like, we're not going to see Sting in a title match ever. Like, this is the last one. Like, the fanboy in me is going to soak this up.
I see Seth Rollins winning by disqualification from outside interference from Cena, causing Sting to lose his opportunity of winning the title, and I see Sheamus cashing in on the celebrating and distracted Seth Rollins.
Mark, your prediction and your interest level.
My prediction is that Sting is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And I actually think that he keeps it for a day. I think that the cash-in won't happen until Monday. But I think after the cash-in, Seth pedigrees Sheamus.
I'm almost okay with that better, actually, than giving Sting his whole night of glory. Letting him come out to start Raw with the belt and do the celebration. I'm okay with that better than Sheamus cashing in at Night of Champions.
I think who should win should obviously be Seth Rollins, but who will win more than likely will be Sting. And this is going to be a shocker as far as my interest level here. My interest level is going to be beyond a 10. The reason why I say beyond a 10 after I just crapped on this is because, of course, it's Sting. He's my favorite wrestler of all time.
So you changed your mind now he belongs in the match.
No, I don't. I just get to see Sting wrestle.
What if Seth Rollins retains and you have Sheamus coming out to cash in? This, of course, goes built off of my theory that Cena interrupts the match. So if he interrupts the match and Sting loses his chance, Seth retains due to disqualification, and Sheamus goes to cash in, and Cena, being the stand-up guy that he is, feels like it shouldn't go down that way and causes Sheamus to lose his chance at cashing in. Seth Rollins remains champion.
I would like that. I really would.
We're going to grade the show and then wrap it up. Long show tonight, but it was well worth getting everything in.
Me personally, I think overall this is a bad pay-per-view. How it's been booked, the storyline to it has just been badly booked overall. I give it probably a D on a letter grading scale. And I don't want to see Sting win it, but he's going to more than likely win. And I really think John Cena should have been in the main event here, so we can see another repeat of the World Heavyweight title and U.S. title again. That's just my thoughts on that. Brian, your final thoughts and your overall interest on this?
Final thoughts. It's a shame that it's in Houston this year because I really wanted to go see it. It's like 30 minutes away from me. I chose to go see NXT over this That should tell you the extent of excitement for this pay-per-view. I feel like it's going to be a B minus, and that's just because I'm looking forward to the two matches that Seth Rollins is in.
Mark?
If I had to give it a grade, it would be a B plus. I get to see the Dudleys versus New Day, which is epic. Cena and Rollins will have a great match. I'm excited to see who the third member of the Shield is, and if the possibility of Sting coming out as World Heavyweight Champion, that would be a pretty cool sight to see. So B plus, and hopefully Seth actually retains one or two of the belts because I really like him being champion.
Cool. Anthony, your thoughts and your grade?
I think that the matches are going to be great, so I'm looking forward to pretty much all the matches. I'm worrying about that six-man with the Whites and the Shield. Like I said, I'm not expecting much of the match itself there. I'm expecting more from the fallout. But besides that, the matches, even the Rusev-Ziggler match, I don't like the story, but the two guys can go in the ring every time they fight. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to give it a B plus as well, as Mark said. It's just going to be, stories are bad, I'll agree with you there, Dan, but their matches are going to be pretty solid.
Before we close this show, does anybody have any surprises that could happen, any heel turns or anything?
I'm just looking forward to see what happens with the Shield thing. That's where something's got to happen with Roman or Dean, or else they've wasted an opportunity here.
Roman turns heel, finally.
I think Dolph Ziggler turns heel on the show.
Who really cares?
How do you turn heel on Rusev? Like, I don't, anyway.
How do you-
I don't know. Mark, do you have any surprises, Mark?
Well, besides thinking that Nikki actually retains, I think the biggest surprise is going to be who the third member is. I'm just praying that it's not something like an Eric Rowan. I hope it's either like a Brock or a Y2J, something big.
Yeah, Eric Rowan is a letdown. I mean, I know he makes the most sense for the white sheep, black sheep, but if Eric Rowan is going to be opposing Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan is going to get slaughtered.
All right, that's going to wrap our show up for today. We want to make sure, we want you all to tune in to the Night of Champions. We want to also thank you for listening in. And we also want you all to visit our website, WrestlingGoonsRadio.blogspot.com, and subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. Also, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We also would like for you all to comment, rate us on iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. For Brian Compton, for Mark Hitz, for Anthony and myself, Dan Tanner, we'll see you when we'll see you.